Tyler Henry Colowin's story begins with fragility and perseverance, setting the tone for a life that would constantly navigate between vulnerability and extraordinary insight. Born 3 months premature at just 2 pounds, 12 ounces, he spent his earliest days in a neonatal intensive care unit, facing the very real challenge of survival. Raised by his mother, Teresa, in California's Central Valley, Tyler's childhood carried a quiet strangeness. He perceived the world differently, noticing nuances others overlooked. This early sensitivity was not a burden, but a seed for the extraordinary gift that would later define his life. At 10, he sensed his grandmother's death before it occurred, a moment that shifted understanding from mere intuition to something he recognized as a profound connection beyond the ordinary. Tyler didn't choose this path. Rather, it chose him. It was a gentle calling that intertwined the personal with the professional, marking a lifetime spent bridging the unseen with the visible world around him. Discovering the gift, Tyler's psychic abilities began as subtle whispers of perception, small insights at the edges of ordinary conversations. The death of his grandmother crystallized the reality that he experienced life differently, giving him clarity and purpose rather than fear. His mother, instead of dismissing his awareness, sought guidance from a psychic who validated his potential and encouraged nurturing rather than suppression. Teresa became the architect of his career, managing logistics and appointments as Tyler's gift matured. This early support was crucial, forming a foundation that allowed Tyler to explore the work that would eventually captivate millions. The skills he displayed were innate, untrained, yet precise. Tyler's understanding of his gift was matter-of-fact. He simply followed the instinctive insights he was given. This period set the stage for a career that combined extraordinary perception with deep empathy, laying a groundwork that would later merge personal experiences with professional milestones, creating a uniquely human narrative around his abilities. The first life-threatening surgery. At 18, Tyler faced a physical challenge that could have ended everything. Born with a colloid cyst in the center of his brain, he lived under a silent but deadly threat. These cysts, fluid-filled and slow-growing, can block cerebrospinal fluid and create a life-threatening situation when left unchecked. Tyler's cyst had grown to the point where a craniotomy was necessary. He approached the surgery quietly, without public announcement, embodying a calm resilience that would characterize his life. The operation was a success, relieving dangerous pressure and allowing him to continue pursuing his gift. At this young age, Tyler had already confronted mortality head-on, navigating fear and vulnerability with the quiet strength that would later define his public persona. Marriage and the challenge ahead. May 2025 marked a turning point in Tyler's personal life. He married his husband, Clint Godwin, and in the span of a week, transitioned from the joy of a wedding to facing another brain surgery. The juxtaposition of happiness and life-threatening medical urgency highlights the extraordinary resilience required in Tyler's life. The week between the ceremony and surgery was a paradoxical blend of love, anticipation, and fear. As he prepared for another craniotomy, the reality of his medical vulnerability weighed heavily, but Tyler approached the challenge with a remarkable balance of pragmatism and hope. The couple navigated this extraordinary timeline together, illustrating a bond forged not in ordinary honeymoon moments, but in confronting crises with humor, faith, and deep mutual trust. Symptoms and the cognitive fog. The week leading up to surgery brought disturbing cognitive symptoms: grogginess, memory impairment, and a foggy inability to process thoughts clearly. For a man whose work depends on precise mental clarity and intuitive insight, these changes were alarming. Tyler noticed the shift immediately, recognizing that the clarity necessary for his readings was compromised. The signs were subtle but unmistakable, and those close to him, including Clint, could observe the decline. This period was a stark reminder that even extraordinary abilities are intertwined with physical health. The awareness of impending danger, coupled with the need to maintain public composure, added layers of complexity to Tyler's experience. It highlighted how fragile the mind can be and how closely his professional gift was tied to the well-being of his brain. Triumph of the first surgery. On May 14th, Tyler underwent his craniotomy, emerging with a success that merged relief with gratitude. In a hospital post that reflected both transparency and humor, he shared the outcome with fans while maintaining his characteristic lightness. "Brain surgery was a success," he wrote, a declaration that combined factual relief with human warmth. The operation relieved pressure, improved cognitive function, and allowed him to continue his work. His radiant smile and calm composure demonstrated not only physical recovery, but emotional resilience. For fans and followers, the post was a testament to facing fear with grace, showing that even amid life-threatening circumstances, joy and optimism could persist. The recurrence of the cyst. 5 months after the initial surgery, the cyst returned, bringing back grogginess, cognitive impairment, and anxiety. Tyler and Clint recognized the symptoms immediately, prompting another surgical intervention. Colloid cysts can regenerate after partial removal, creating uncertainty and emotional strain for the patient. This recurrence demonstrated the unpredictability of both medical conditions and life itself. Fans watched as Tyler confronted this development publicly, balancing transparency with humor and grace. The recurrence of the cyst reinforced the reality that Tyler's extraordinary life is intertwined with very human vulnerability. This chapter highlighted the intersection of medical necessity and emotional resilience, showing a man committed to his life, marriage, and work while navigating circumstances that would challenge anyone's spirit. Recovery, memory, and out-of-body experience. Following the second surgery, Tyler faced memory impairment, describing a goldfish effect in which short-term memory was limited to minutes at a time. For someone whose work relies on mental precision, this was deeply challenging. He documented the recovery process openly, sharing moments of confusion, humor, and revelation. Notably, Tyler reported an out-of-body experience during surgery, an event he recorded and planned to share at the right time. This phase illustrated the intertwining of medical, emotional, and spiritual experiences, revealing both vulnerability and insight. Fans witnessed not just a public figure's recovery, but a profoundly human experience of navigating trauma with honesty and reflection. Tyler's openness reinforced the idea that extraordinary abilities do not exempt anyone from the fragility of the human condition, creating a narrative of resilience and hope that resonated widely. Final surgery and full recovery. Early December 2025 brought a decisive third surgery, finally removing the recurring cyst and ending months of medical uncertainty. Tyler's post-surgical updates reflected relief, gratitude, and optimism. By January 2026, he reported strong recovery and a readiness to return to work. This successful intervention marked a turning point in both health and emotional stability. The sequence of surgeries and recovery highlighted not only Tyler's resilience but the supportive partnership with Clint, whose calm and precise communication helped navigate public updates. Fans witnessed a journey that combined physical survival with the preservation of Tyler's extraordinary gift, underscoring the intimate connection between health, personal relationships, and professional fulfillment. Tyler's story illustrated that even amid repeated crises, recovery and hope remain achievable, reinforced by transparency and human connection. Legacy of resilience and human connection. Tyler Henry's journey through life-threatening medical events, public scrutiny, and professional responsibility showcases extraordinary human resilience. From a premature birth to multiple brain surgeries and navigating public transparency with humor and grace, Tyler's story is one of enduring courage. His relationship with Clint reflects partnership forged in adversity, while his professional life illustrates the integration of extraordinary abilities with practical and emotional intelligence. Fans responded with support and admiration, drawn to both his gifts and his humanity. Tyler's experience reveals that even those with remarkable talents face challenges that test body, mind, and spirit, and that the way we confront adversity defines our legacy as much as our accomplishments. His story is a testament to perseverance, love, and the balance of vulnerability with extraordinary strength, offering lessons that resonate far beyond the world of psychic readings.